I have a question. How many of you have heard of the Medina effect? Nothing. How many of you have heard about the Medina effect? A little while back, there was a big meeting just like this. And then it was brought to the attention of the crowd that the Port of Seattle was by the legislature early on, many years ago, as a commercial establishment, not a civil establishment. And it was indicated that because of that, people could sue the port commissioners individually and as a group, just like they would any corporate structure with a board of directors. That was then. It was announced to the crowd. The crowd liked what they heard. It turned out that a week later, it appeared in the Seattle Times that the Medina, do you know where Medina is? They say they've got the money there. That Medina threatened to sue the port because of overflights over Medina. You know, it's a big wealthy community. But we've got the votes here. This is a big area. They're turning us into a ghetto, an airport ghetto. Now, that appeared a week later in the Seattle Times. A week after that, all of a sudden, the overflights disappeared from Medina, folks. You're dealing with a political thing here. You're hearing a bunch of engineering gibberish, and they expect you to understand it, but really it's a political problem. We need another airport here in this area, just like San Francisco, LAX, and that's what's needed badly. They're trying to fit a big foot into a small shoe.
We have been joined by State Representative Sharon Nelson, who represents the Northwest Berrien and Shorewood areas.
Okay, let's talk about stuff that's not acceptable. I live on 261st, helicopter sites, hovering. Build the ramp, there's no reason for this. If they're training flights, go to the water. It ain't, don't call for it. There's a SWAT team going down the night, looking for somebody, okay, let's talk about that. They come up there all year long, no reason, just irritate people. That's got to stop. Earlier, I was at a meeting last month with Northfield Community Center. We had guys testing the sun for a long time, and stories to tell, such as like a lot of planes, something coming down like from the west to the east, 200, hard it up and through one way to the bottom. They're not coming down the corridor, that's just rude. And then a case scenario, 128, about 10 to 12, noise guy was over there, Dallas House, 194.7 coming in. It was there like a collision branch, lighting up the living room, all the windows, shaking our pictures. There was no excuse for this, lighting up your living rooms, along with the thrust brake. This is a very light get on the ground. There's got to be a better answer. We can go back to first one-way answer, I don't know. Last one, received, was at a meeting on 128th, in the northway to the church over here. I don't know if you guys went to that meeting. It was very well presented, and the people there were sincere, and they said, once again, the runways over bad weather, and apparently everybody knew this was probably side. And that's all we're victims of this bogus answers that you got in your trouble in the case. It's very irritating. And one more thing, I was told, this may affect, I want to stop at this question, this issue. This may affect some people, it will affect me, but now's your chance. A friend of mine asked a friend of his, the people at this presentation, he had his home son approved, double pane, never put in, since then the panes are separated, fogged up, and need to be replaced. And they said, oh, they get this money every time, it was like crap. fall through, can't see through? And the answer was, sorry, we're going to do this, tough, you're not the one, buddy. That's ain't acceptable. I don't know if anyone fits in your scenarios, but you can take that on to him, and I'll just step down. Thank you.
About a week ago, I got a ride on the bus ride on the first runway, so I know that it's now completed. Just had some minor work to do. I understand this is going to be followed by work on the second runway. When that's done, there will be no further need for the third runway. Projections here, you have 475,000 in 1997 and 317,000 now. The FAA, about a week ago, PI Times, announced, made a story in there about the airlines are out about $11 billion of money. And the FAA was asking the airfields around the U.S., including seatac, to find ways to reduce the runway costs so the airlines can have more money to continue in business. Now, it appeared to me that running 3 runways is a very costly operation. It's much less expensive just to run 2 runways and close that third runway. Is the airport thinking seriously along that line? That's the FAA is asked for that.
Port Seattle is not thinking along that.
They're not thinking of closing down that runway.
Absolutely not.
But it's kind of a strange operation. You have the planes coming in, cannot come in while aircraft are crossing on that runway. They're crossing on that runway 10, 15, maybe 30 miles an hour. You've got a plane sitting, going 200 miles an hour, trying to come in on this plane crossing the runway. This just doesn't make sense to have that 3 runways going. Your shortages you talked about, the bad weather and what have you, those take place in cities such as Chicago and other cities across the nation in the wintertime during bad weather when they can't take off to get here. And people have to stay in the airport here because there's no place for them to land. But this runway is almost always open. You rarely don't hear any aircraft taking off or landing on it. So I think, just really think seriously. The favor to everybody, including these communities, is close that darn runway. It was a political football to begin with.
Take that comment back. And we've also been joined by Sept City Councilman Barry Landenberg.